Let's get to the news of the day, and I think what's been on everybody's mind as far as LSU Arkansas, at least what's been on my mind with LSU and Arkansas, more than anything else in this game, more than the potential of a letdown, more than the morning game, more than the weather, any of those things has been the health of KJ Jefferson. So Sam Pittman, Arkansas head coach, had a chance to update us on this just under an hour ago.
That's still, a few days away. KJ threw some on Monday, not much at all yesterday. I don't know exactly, Tom, what he'll do today, but that's still kind of a fluid situation. But there hasn't been a whole lot of change from last week to this week, except for KJ's thrown a little bit more than what he did last week.
So KJ Jefferson really didn't practice much at all last week, but he played in the game this past weekend. If he's doing a little bit more by Pittman's estimation than he was doing last week, and he played last week, well, then could you expect him to play this week? This is one of those deals where I don't know how KJ Jefferson feels. I don't know how I don't know how he feels today. I don't know how he felt yesterday, and I certainly don't know how he's going to feel on Saturday. I can tell you that there have been multiple instances, including one with Arkansas this year, where KJ Jefferson has gone to the game, warmed up, and not played, dressed and not played. That's happened quite a few. That happened with Oklahoma State last week. So you don't know when they say game time decision. Sometimes they know, and sometimes they're actually going out there with a chance maybe to play. Now, if KJ Jefferson is not available to go, then what?
Malik Hornsby's had a really good week of practice. The team's confident in him. And so either way, whatever happens, whether we play KJ or whether we play Malik, we'll feel like we'll have a guy that can go back there, the team believes in, and execute our game plan.
No. Look, that's what he's supposed to say. I'm not criticizing Sam Pittman at all. That's what he's got to tell us. That's what he's got to tell his team. He may go home and tell, if he's got a Cocker Spaniel, hey, look, we're going to be fine without KJ Jefferson. We're going to run Malik Hornsby out there. But the truth of the matter is that Malik Hornsby has thrown 17 passes this year, and KJ Jefferson is the heart and soul of the Arkansas offense. He's thrown for almost 2,000 yards. He's thrown 17 touchdown passes against only 3 interceptions, and he's run for 425 yards, and 6 more touchdowns, and that's after you take out the sack yardage, which is significant. So in every way, KJ Jefferson is the straw that turns the drink for Arkansas, and if they don't have him, or if he is limited in any way, it's going to be a big, big deal. So that's nothing against Malik Hornsby, but Hornsby's thrown 17 passes and 2 of them were intercepted. Jefferson's thrown 222 passes and 3 of them were intercepted. You see what I'm getting at here? Hornsby had that one long run of 50 yards. I'm forgetting against who, but he's not the runner that KJ Jefferson is. KJ Jefferson is the guy for Arkansas when it comes to their offense. And that's the update. Frankly, I don't expect to hear much more on this that gives us an indication between now and Saturday. The one thing I can tell you to watch as far as Jefferson's availability is the point spread. If you see a jump in the point spread, you saw a jump in the point spread last week with Texas A&M when it came out that everybody had the flu, including the freshman quarterback. Well, the spread moved a little bit. If you see this spread jump, in LSU's favor more than a point or two, then you'll know something's up, and some of the information is leaked out with Jefferson. If it holds there, then the possibility of him playing holds there as well. Sam Pittman also talked about what he saw from LSU against Alabama.
Daniels, he handled the game plan. He was efficient, made people miss, made big plays. I thought him and the offensive line were the difference in that game offensively. Defensively, I really like their front. Their front four is really good, I think. And obviously Brooks and Joe are playing well in the back end as well. But I like their ability to rush the passer, their ability to stop the run with their two, what I think are outstanding D tackles, and their linebackers can really run. Harold Perkins is going to be a highly drafted kid. He's a really good player.
Wouldn't you like to watch a game with Sam Pittman? I'd like to watch a game with Sam Pittman. We're going to grab a beer. We're going to watch the game. Sam Pittman's every man. I mean, if I was a player, I'd like to play for Sam Pittman. He just seems like a good dude and a football lifer. You sit down and, he could dissect X's and O's and do all that stuff, or he could just sit down and go, man, that guy's a pretty good football player. He fits the Arkansas accent and everything. Sam Pittman's every man. I mean, he's great. I love Sam Pittman. If I could sit down and watch a game with Sam Pittman, I think that would be a really enjoyable experience. Brian Kelly's number one problem this week is handling success, and the head coach talked about that.
With the success that we've had, we've entered into a new part of how we think, and our team needs to now handle success, and that means preparing the right way, avoiding distractions, and really working on what they've been good at, and that is day-to-day. Certainly preparation, their practice, being better at all the details, and so we hope to continue that as we get ready for another great offense in Arkansas.
It's said every time that this goes on, but it's really a lot harder in practice to block out the outside factors when you're doing well and you're doing bad. If you're doing bad and everybody that you see tells you stink, at some point you go, man, I want to get away from that. I can block out that noise at some point. Somebody just tells you absolutely every day you're horrible. Well, it's easy to, when everybody's telling you how good you are, well, you want to hear more of that. Yeah, it's easy to fall into it. You can say all the right things and still fall into the trap. That's why handling success is so difficult. It's why it's difficult for teams to repeat as champions. It's why it's difficult to go on long winning streaks, because handling success is tough. Hey, that guy that Sam Pittman was talking about, that Harold Perkins kid, the one he thinks is going to be really highly drafted, and you know what? I think he's right. Well, we've gone from a few weeks ago, Perkins wasn't on the field because, some of the personnel groupings and the position, no, find him a way to get on the field. Now we've gotten to the point where Kelly's talking about expanding his role.
So the process was that, he came in as an inside linebacker, and I think we identified early on that, that was going to take longer for us to get him into the rotation on the field. So we moved him to an outside linebacker position, which we felt like was an easier fit for him to pick up what we wanted, because we could put him into different packages, third down packages, nickel packages, dime packages. And then as it evolved to the point where he was making plays and being productive, we had to get to the point where we had base defenses with him on the field. So this was about giving him as much as he could handle and then getting the best 11 players.
Reminded of a story that Jerry Stovall used to tell about the 1982 season. He said they came out of the first couple of practices, and LSU had recruited a kid out of New Orleans named Gary James, who was very, very highly recruited running back. And they'd recruited a kid out of Patterson who was not very highly recruited at all, named Dalton Hilliard. And his assistant coaches went to him and said, hey, here's the thing. The Hilliard kid is the best one we got. He came in here, he was like sixth string. I don't care. He's the best one. He needs to get out there. And Dalton Hilliard went on to become one of the greatest running backs that LSU had to that point and still. And Gary James, by the way, also went on to have the Dalton and James game. It was fantastic. Perkins didn't come in here lightly recruited. He didn't come in here seventh string. But the same idea applies. He got off the practice field. It's like, man, we got to get this cat in the game. Whatever it is we got to do. Well, we were planning on playing him out here, and we can't put him in there yet. Well, then put him somewhere else, because he's got to be on the field. So we've gotten to the point now where it's like, what can we do? What else can we do with? I mean, Sean Payton got Taysom Hill. It's like, man, what can we do with this guy? We can do all kinds of stuff with this guy. Imagine Matt House is in the film room going, what can I do with 40 now? Because he can do all kinds of stuff. Finally, Arkansas lost to Liberty last week, and Kelly talked about how Liberty slowed Arkansas down.
I think, Liberty obviously is a well-coached football team. I think Arkansas just didn't execute as well as they have executed in weeks past. So I think it was a little bit of both. I think it was Liberty, playing well and playing aggressively. I thought that they crowded the line of scrimmage and maybe took advantage of some things that, by playing aggressively at the line of scrimmage that made it difficult to run the football. And then I think Arkansas, obviously didn't have their best game. And so I think it was a little bit of both.
Notice Kelly throwing the bouquet to Hugh Freeze before he's got to play him in the SEC West next year. I didn't say that out loud, did I? Hugh Freeze wouldn't be back in the SEC next year by any chance, right? Really well coached. They are.